Welcome to another video and to another organ. Today I'm at Kirk Merrington Parish Church, the Church of St John, to look at this lovely historic 2-manual pipe organ. Firstly, if you haven't been to this channel before, my name's Paul and I visit pipe organs all over the place wherever I can get in. So if you haven't yet subscribed, I'll be ever so grateful if you will consider doing so. The button is down here somewhere. But without further ado, let's have a look at this lovely organ. So this organ was built by Wadsworth organ builders of Manchester in 1866. So it's getting on a bit, it's really got some history. A bit like me, this is the last video I'll be doing in my 40s. Let you work out how old I'll be tomorrow. This organ is tracker action throughout. It's a lovely light action for a tracker action. The front of the organ has this lovely fretwork and decorated pipework. A lovely looking organ. It really has some volume, it really has some lovely tones. But let's, as usual, start by having a look at the stops here on the grate, which are on the right hand side and is the bottom manual. Let's have a look. So probably not a surprise, but the bottom stop on the grate is an 8-foot open diapason, which sounds like this. Next up is a Dulciana, also an 8-foot. A lovely tone, and the pipework, or the sound rather, comes out from that fretwork. Lovely, it really does. Unfortunately, this organ is tucked around the side in this transept, so it doesn't, or probably doesn't get out into the main congregation fantastically well, but still it's a lovely tone. Next we have a stop diapason and clarabella. That's the same stop, by the way. So that sounds almost like two stops rolled into one. Obviously a stop diapason is a flute and the clarabella is a flute, hence that lovely fluty sound that we achieve. Next is another 8-foot. It is a flute amabile. I believe that means a lovely flute or something along those lines. Sounds like this. We move on to a 4-foot, which is called a clear flute. Let's see what it sounds like. It sounds very bright and crisp. I guess that's what it means. Let's try that with one of the 8-foot flutes. lovely sounding flute, that really is nice. Next we have the 4-foot principal. Is it in tune? Let's add the diapason flute. That is such a crisp sound. I am so impressed with that. And I'm so pleased to see we have a 2-foot 15th on its own. It sounds... Let's add that to the stock diapason. Brightness and that light key action is so nice, it really is. And the final stop is a mutation. It's a 12th on its own. Let's add the 15th. And a nice 8-foot, the open diapason. How nice is that? I'm so impressed with the clarity and the sharpness of these stops. It really is a lovely set of stops. So let's try something on the grate and see what it sounds like all together. That is so crisp, that is lovely. Let's have a look on the Swell. So here on the Swell we have 5 stops. We're going to start on an 8-foot. I'm sorry I can't speak for it, it's freezing in here and my lips are numb. So we're going to start on the Spitz flute, which is an 8-foot. Nice, I don't know what that was, but there we go. The volume, of course, on this organ is controlled by a balanced swell pedal, which is here to the right. Very effective, I'll demonstrate that now. And we have another 8-foot, which is a Lieblich Gedacht. The flutes on this organ are stunning. Next we have a gems horn or a gems horn. A 4 foot. And finally we have a 2 foot on the Swell also, which is a flageolet or a flageolet. Swell box shut. Very effective swell box, that is lovely, lovely. And finally we have a reed on the Swell. It is a hautboy, or of course it's an oboe, which sounds like this. Pretty nice. The first stop I found that is a little bit out of tune, but that's reeds for you, I suppose. Let's try something on the Swell. Again, it's a lovely Swell. The flutes are so nice. That reed really fattens the sound up, gives it some welly, so that is lovely. Let's have a quick look at the pedals. So there is only one stop on the pedal on this organ, and it is labelled as a Grand Borden. A Grand Borden is normally a 32 foot Borden. So I think it's probably just a Borden really, because this is 16 foot, but it sounds like this. Although it does have quite a lot of welly. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe help me in the comments there. But to me, a Grand Borden is a 32 foot, but still it's pretty powerful. There are also only two couplers on this organ. There's the Swell to Great, which you would expect, but there is only one manual to pedals, and that is the Great to pedal. If you would like the Swell to follow through to the pedals, you need to connect the Great to pedals as well and have it running right the way through all the manuals. It doesn't have an independent stop for that. But overall, a really nice organ, a lovely historical organ. It looks nice, it sounds incredible, particularly those flutes. But now I'd like to try something on the full organ, full whack, see what it sounds like. Let's have a go. So I think that is a lovely organ with so much history to it. The flutes in particular really stand out to me. As usual, the details of this organ will be in the National Pipe Organ Register link, which you will find in the description. Again, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, I would be ever so grateful if you would hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, leave a like, all that other stuff, and I shall see you in the next video when I will be 50. So until then, I'll see you later. Bye for now.